Goeiedag! Good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And if you wanted any further proof that Ramaphosa's goals are to destroy anything left in the white economy, well, wait until you hear this report that's in Daily Maverick today. Dramatic plunges in the RMB-BER Business Confidence Index. The Business Confidence Index is the BCI. Just remember that acronym because I'll be using it a few times. And the Bank Serve Africa Economic Transaction Index, or BETI, underscored the scale of the economic havoc wrought by the COVID-19 pandemic and South Africa's lockdown measures to contain it. Now, I've been saying for a couple of weeks now that this doesn't kind of add up. I believe that Ramaphosa and the NCC, which are accountable to nobody, are using this to destroy what's left of the white businesses in South Africa, which is why when it came to passing out money to those affected by the lockdown, you had to be BEE compliant. Remember that? Remember all those cases that we demonstrated? There is something very, very sinister and underhand going on here. And look, because we're talking about a gangster state, which is the ANC government, led by Ramaphosa, nothing surprises me. Okay. Let me tell you a bit more about the story. Now, don't forget before I do that just last week, Ramaphosa stated in a public interview that the South African economy had not been impacted by the lockdown. And in fact, it was a wonderful thing because it'll bring about black economic transformation, i.e., moving the economy from white people to black people. You might say, what happened to the Rainbow Nation? Well, I think Dr. Piet Groenewald answered that question last night, or the night before last, when we had that live stream on the main channel, this channel. Okay, let me tell you the story. Remember the BCI? Remember what that is? That is a Business Confidence Index. The BCI fell to just 5 points from 18, its lowest level since the Business Confidence Survey began in 1975. That is 45 years ago. But Ramaphosa, remember last week, said the economy is going just fantastic under the lockdown because he wants socialism in South Africa. That's the end game, destroying capitalism, destroying the white small businesses. That's the hidden agenda behind what's happening here. Anyway, let's continue. So even during the political violence and drama of the late 1970s and 1980s, the uncertainty and bloody civil conflict of the early 1990s, various emerging market reactions, and the global financial crisis over a decade ago, not to mention the shenanigans and lootings of the Zuma era, business confidence in South Africa was higher than it is right now. So Ramaphosa has a hidden agenda he's not talking to people about. This is your president, black privileged, making billions out of BEE and triple BEE, while the rest of the nation are in poverty. They don't care. That's a reality about this ANC government. The article states, this, folks, is the economic abyss. Strikingly, a reading of 5 indicates that just about every respondent in the second quarter was unsatisfied with prevailing business conditions, Rand Merchant Bank said in a statement on Wednesday, the 10th of June. They said, until now, the lowest BCI on record was the 12 index points registered during the third quarter of 1985 and the fourth quarter of 1977. In both cases, confidence falling this low was the result of uniquely adverse political developments in South Africa. By contrast, confidence in the second quarter of 2020 collapsed primarily due to the unexpected emergence and spread of COVID-19 and the 5-week shutdown of almost all non-essential economic activity as a first step to deal with the public health emergency, which is all bullshit because they haven't had a lockdown. It only applies in certain areas like white middle-class suburbs where they go after them and arrest them. Go to townships around South Africa today and you'll find them milling around as if it's just a big public holiday. That's a reality. I've got all the videos. You won't believe how many videos I've got of footage of this. I mean, I'm just getting bored of putting them up there. It is clearly a racist lockdown. By contrast, confidence in the second quarter of 2020 collapsed primarily due to the unexpected emergence and spread of COVID-19 and the 5-week shutdown of almost all non-essential economic activity as a first step to deal with the public health emergency. Almost overnight, a significant portion of businesses had no income but continued to be liable for expenses such as rent, wages, interest on loans, and unpaid earlier supplier deliveries. Those that could operate faced supply chain disruptions and added costs to keep staff and clients safe, it said. The second quarter survey conducted online between the 13th of May and the 1st of June as part of the economy reopening covered about 1,800 executives in building, manufacturing, and domestic trade sectors, which include retail. Now, let me show you that business confidence index chart so you get an idea of just how crappy it is. And you'll understand why this is the ANC government's move to going to all-out socialism and communism, destroying the white business community. Let me show you that. RMB said, over time, business confidence in these sectors has proved to be a reliable early indicator of GDP growth and private fixed investment, except it is not an indicator of growth in this case, but of a staggering economic contraction. Other data released on Wednesday also painted a profound, grim economic picture. The Bank Serve Africa Economic Transaction Index, or BETI, or BETI, calculated by economist.co.za, measures transactions between South African banks. The BETI for the 3 months ending May 2020 reflected the sharpest decline in its history. The economy recorded 20% less in transactions value than a year ago, while the monthly BETI or BETI decline of 4.3% was not as substantial as April's of 14.2%, the March to May period represented the biggest drop on record, with the actual total value of transactions lower than any period since April 2005 in real terms. The size of the collapse in economic transactions that underlie economic activity is perhaps best reflected in the quarter-on-quarter comparison, which crashed by 20.4%. The speed of the collapse of over 20% in just 3 months has been devastating. That is a statement by economist.co.za. If 20% of your transactions disappear, it is indicative of an economic collapse. This is the broadest indicator you will get of what is going on at the coalface. It's a nightmare. This pandemic and lockdown might set us back a decade. Well, it's going to transform the way business is done in South Africa. because the socialist, communist, ANC government are now pulling their master plan where they will be running the entire show, and the guys at the top, yeah, the black privileged, they're going to be doing just fine. And you know what? They don't care about anybody outside that privileged circle, regardless of your color. So black lives don't matter to the ANC. Get that into your heads. Economist.co.za's Mike Schussler told Business Maverick, included in the measures are EFTs, which Schussler said were the lifeblood of the economy. And South Africa, which has a low savings rate, a key reason why foreign investment is crucial, is starting to save. But it's not a favorable indicator in these circumstances. Economist.co.za noted, South African Reserve Bank data showed a 10.4% increase in deposits of South African residents in April over the last year. This is the highest increase since the Great Recession of 2008-2009 and ties with the collapse of economic activity. With a great deal of uncertainty, people and businesses have reduced their spending considerably, with more opting to invest in their savings. Well, good luck with the rand, even though it seems to be strengthening. Believe me, it's going one way under a communist government. In conclusion, this report states, it remains to be seen when things begin to rebound. Lockdown level 3 kicked in at the start of June, so hopefully these measures will at least reverse course this month. But the base is now very low. South Africa's economy is in the gutter. And I have just heard reports, and these are basically reliable reports, that Ramaphosa is talking about lifting the lockdown back to level 5 in certain areas of South Africa. And clearly he's targeting the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape. And the Western Cape is a key target because they're the ones who've been doing the most testing, and as a result, they got the highest infection rate, whereas in Gauteng and other parts of South Africa, the testing has been pretty well non-existent. So what they're doing is they're going to suggest that the Western Cape, which is run by their opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, don't know what they're doing. You watch, the ANC are going to try and take over in the Western Cape. You can't make this shit up. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe.